Salut tout le monde, ici Justin Charbonneau pour Cinémaniak. Et aujourd'hui, je suis en compagnie de Darren Curtis, Jahmil French et Nabil Rajo pour le film Biaux qui va sortir le 7 avril prochain. Et juste vous dire que l'entrevue va se faire en anglais, étant donné que les trois personnes parlent uniquement en anglais. Welcome to Montreal.
Thank you.
So, Darren, April 7th, the film is coming out in Montreal. It was actually presented in the Festival de Nouveau Cinéma in October.
Yeah.
And before that, you made a movie called KK Downey.
Yeah, it was KK Downey.
In 2008, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think you began filming Boost in 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
The development of the screenplay began with telefilm in 2010. It was selected for a pilot project called Feature It. They wanted to produce 5 genre films for under $1.5 million. So this project was selected in 2010, and that's when the writing process began.
Okay. And with KK Downey, you made a dark comedy.
Right.
And with this one, you made a gritty drama.
Yeah.
So I wonder, what is the evolution? Why did you make that? What happened?
I think a lot of time, like when you're young, you're doing films, making films, you kind of use what's around you. So growing up, I had worked with a bunch of my friends. We had done short films, sketch comedy, a lot of stuff, sort of ripping off Kids in the Hall type thing. And then we just thought, you know what, let's take all this energy that we were putting into these shows, where there was a mix of live and pre-recorded material, and just focus on telling one large story. And at the time, I mean, we didn't have any of the funding through Telefilm or Sodak really available to us, because we had never produced a feature before, even a lot of shorts that went on to gain, a lot of notoriety or at film festivals and everything. So we just privately funded a movie at a time, I think, when there was just more funds available, like before the stock market crash of 2008. But wealthy people would be like, yeah, I'm going to invest in this like crazy, comedy film and everything. So that's sort of, I think, why I had done comedy earlier on. And then as I got older, I kind of realized that the thing that I wanted was a new sort of challenge in storytelling. And I felt with comedy, it always felt very sort of low stakes, that there wasn't, people don't kind of take it as seriously. They don't sort of look at it as like real filmmaking and everything. So, and I really love this genre of, the thriller, the crime thriller, and really wanted to tell like a very personal, subjective story, that would focus on a small couple of characters in just a short period of time, and set it here in Montreal.
I was wondering, were you inspired by the series The Wire for this movie?
I'm trying to think if I'd actually seen it that much. I don't know if I'd actually seen it before then. I think the biggest one for me that I saw that really blew my mind was the Jacques Audiard movie, Un Prophète.
Okay.
Which had like sort of same thing of a rite of passage story set in a crime setting. And I think after I saw that, I was kind of like, this would be great, to sort of do something in the same sort of vein, the same sort of tone, and stylistically it was beautiful to look at, and I really thought it'd be, like a really fun project to take on, something that was inspired by that film.
Okay. And can you present us the lead actors right now?
Of course.
For the film.
This is our star, Nabil, and he plays Hakeem in the film. You want to say hi, Nabil?
Hi. How are you doing?
This is Jahmil. He plays Anthony Amac McDonald, and these two guys are the stars of the film, and they did an amazing job bringing the characters to life off the page. Could not have been happier with the casting of this film.
And they play the best friends in the film. That was in the Parc Extension in Montreal.
Yeah.
So guys, can you talk about your roles in the films? What were you doing and all that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go ahead, Jamil.
Well, we play 2 young brothers coming up sort of from the same corner of the world, and we're young, like that fun, and I think that the beauty of the relationship is the dynamic of Amac sort of being this really energetic alpha male, sort of, one would say, a little bit crazy, whereas Nabil a little bit more Hakeem, part of it, being more conservative, a little bit more laid back, but the beauty of that dynamic just created a really energetic chemistry within the film, and obviously that you know, that goes to be said in paying homage for the casting, because I think these two characters, Hakeem and Amac, I think that the key thing about these characters is their relationship and how their relationship permeates through the story that, you know, that Darren has created.
And where did you guys all meet? Was it a casting call or something like that?
Me and Nabil and I actually met at the Canadian Film Centre. There was a period of time when they thought the film was going to get financed through Ontario, and they even thought about relocating the story to Toronto. And Nabil came in. He actually read for the other part, for the part that Ja ended up playing in the final film. And we met him there, and I was like really blown away. I was like, oh my God, you know, like just doing this, you know, shooting this on spec, like, you know, little scene without any of the wardrobe, the setting and everything. You really kind of felt that Nabil was like, had a lot of charisma and a lot of presence and stuff. So when it came time to casting the film, we had been looking at originally the story was supposed to take place in the South Asian community with South Asian actors, but we were having trouble finding kids, or two main leads that could really, you know, that felt that they could take the movie on their shoulders. And I had remembered Nabil from the CFC, and I was like, you know, worst comes to worst, we could maybe have one of the kids be South Asian and the other one be, you know, be African, and, you know, that type of background, Caribbean, something else. So we were like, let's bring Nabil in, and he was amazing. And then we realized, our Jonathan Olivieri, our casting director in Toronto, was like, you have to see Jahmil French, like this guy is gonna like blow you away. And then once we had a chemistry casting with the two of them acting out some of the scenes together, it was like right away I was just like, okay, this is it. Like this is the movie. We're gonna have to just change and relocate the immigrant story to this other culture. And Nabil had like a really, you know, his actual background and everything, being Eritrean and speaking Chirguinia, it really just added a lot to really kind of bring out a lot of in the character and his history and his relationship to the city of Montreal, as, you know, his parents being immigrants, and just adapting to the city. So it actually, it was kind of like, I think, you know, it's casting is the most difficult part. It's, you know, 90% of the job that I'm supposed to do. So when you see it, you just make everything else work and fall into place to accommodate the amazing find that it was with these two guys.
Okay. And how did you prepare for this role, Nabil?
How did I prepare for Hakeem?
Did you make some research, for example, about the Montreal or the city?
I mean, we came, like, before we started filming, we were here like a week early, so I was basically following Darren around and just trying to soak up the culture. Just people that are different here, you know. And Park X was, you know, one of the bigger things. You know, it's an urban neighborhood. It's an urban community, so. You know, I was already familiar with that, you know, being from Toronto, you know, I'm familiar with that whole community, but, you know, I wanted to see if there was any difference here. And not much difference, but as far as research goes, we just had a lot of conversation about the character. Like he said, we originally auditioned for the same characters.
Okay.
And me and Ja come from, you know, a place called Scarborough in Toronto. And we're around the same people, so we act alike. You know, when we did the audition together, he threw some people off by the way he was, you know what I mean, by, you know, playing Mac a certain way. But I kind of, you know what I mean, I kind of felt, I saw what he was doing, and I was able to, you know, the chemistry was pretty much clear that, you know, me and him come from the same place. Yeah, and Hakeem is just, he's reclusive. You know, he doesn't have much of a social life. You know, he has immigrant parents. So his priorities are different than Max. You know, he's trying to look after his family. You know, he's got to shoulder that burden of not having a dad in the home. So he's a 17-year-old man of the house. So he's got to, you know, he can't be selfish. He's a teenager he doesn't have the luxury of being selfish and buying whatever he wants. And whenever he makes money, he's got to take care of his family. So yeah, that was one of the things that we wanted to do, was make sure that these two characters were different, you know, but the same at the same time. You know, so I'm more reclusive, I'm more quiet, I'm more shy, I'm timid, and I think a lot. As for Mac, or Josh, should say, you know, he's just like, let's go, man. Whatever happens, happens. So yeah, and you know, hopefully that comes through.
Well, it was great to see you guys in the screen, by the way. Darren, how hard is it is to produce an English film in Quebec?
Yeah.
But I think the SADC financed you.
So they financed the development of the screenplay. Okay. Production came mostly from telefilm and some pre-sales. Okay. Definitely, yeah, very tough for Anglo films. I mean, this one, we really wanted to capture what Montreal feels like from an Anglo kind of perspective, definitely from the immigrant perspective, which is you're not part of the main culture, you know, that you're on the periphery, you're kind of on the outside looking in. So yeah, it was definitely not, I mean, I think Franco films capture Quebec and Montreal very well. They seem like, when I watch those movies, I'm like, this seems like the place that I live. Anglo films, not really as accurate. They sort of try to do, you know, kind of like an unknown American city a lot of the time. It's just missing a lot of Montreal flavor. So yeah, so I'm hoping, yeah, with this, it kind of shows that we have, you know, potential to tell very uniquely Montreal Anglo stories in a way that feels authentic and genuine to the setting.
But there was also some French Canadian actors.
Yeah.
There was Fanny Mallette, if I'm not mistaken, and Juliette Gosselin.
And Patrick Goyette as well.
So
yeah.
Did you approach them or?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that the characters were written to be French. Okay. In the we had, you know, one of the producers translated a lot of the English dialogue that was meant to be portrayed in French by French actors. But it's one of the things, you know, even when they talk about Los Angeles, like why, you know, it's so great to make an indie movie there is that you can call, you know, up and you can get amazing actors that are going to come and be in a production for 1 or 2 days, and it really helps elevate everything. So here, having access to all these amazing Francophone actors, and for them it's nothing. I mean, it's like, you know, like a short cab ride. They're on set, they're here for 1 or 2 days, but it really elevates the whole project because you're getting A-list talent, and they're happy to be doing it because it's like, cool, I'm in a movie. It's a little bit out of, you know, the type of material that I'm usually exposed to or the type of stuff that I do. So they were all awesome. Like, it was so great. You know, we had like a quick intro. We did, you know, not even really rehearsing, just started talking through the scenes with John and Nabil, and everybody was super comfortable. So we got to set. It was very smooth, very easy. Everybody was like really enjoying themselves, and yeah, I was just so grateful that they were able to be in the film.
Okay. And the film premiered yesterday, I think, April 3rd.
Yeah.
How was the reception?
What do you guys think?
What do you think?
Was it a trip seeing yourselves?
Well, I already saw it. I came here.
Okay.
There was a festival here, Cinéma de Nouveau.
Yeah, it was in 2016, right? In the end?
Yeah. So I came, I saw it, and the reception then was good, and the reception that we got last night was very positive. You know, there was a couple of kids from Park X who came to see it because they were familiar with all the different spots that we shot at. And I wanted their opinion, and I said, so how'd you like the movie? And they're like, you guys killed it, man. Everything was amazing.
Did they ask you questions about the film after the projection?
Yeah, they asked me where we shot the chop shop and whatnot, but I'm like, I don't even know. I just get in the car and go set, but yeah, no, that was about it. They didn't really have any questions. They just had a lot of compliments. They really, you know, they were proud of it.
Okay. And did you guys learn a bit of French? Some words maybe?
Yeah.
I know you said like merci sometimes in the film.
My last name is French.
Yeah, that's all the French he knows.
Yeah.
They had to do it. Yeah, we had them actually speaking some French in it. I love it because it's like, for me, it reminds me of like being in public school, and there was kids that French would have been, you know, a third language. They would speak like a native tongue, English second and third. And I mean, I'm lived here my whole life. You know, I still haven't picked up French super well. So, you know, children of immigrants, it was really difficult. But, you know, in French school, like in high school in Quebec, you know, it was still mandatory that they would have to do it, so you would see them. So I felt like when we gave these guys a couple lines of dialogue to sort of muscle out and everything, it really felt like authentic to the Quebec experience.
You feel like you're saying the right thing, but like people who are actually French, they hear you and you're like, you're not saying nothing. You're not really saying nothing. But yeah, we had to speak a little French.
Okay.
And I was cool with it. You know, it's a challenge, and I love that. And you know, that's who the character is. So I try to get it right.
That's great. And what's your next projects after Boost?
Actually, yeah, we're doing actually a comedy, believe it or not. So kind of coming full circle about my experience growing up, taking care of my younger brother. we lived in a place across from like the CEGEP that we attended.
Okay.
Just the two of us when we were pretty young, and we kind of turned it into like a den of debauchery with tons of drugs and alcohol and everything because there was nobody watching over it. So we're sort of doing a comedy version of like a Scarface type movie.
So you're going back a bit with the KK Downey?
Exactly, becoming a little bit more fun. But hopefully
we'll
No, nothing like that. No, I actually really like working with younger actors. I think
Okay.
that's something that I really enjoyed in the process, and like hanging out with these guys, becoming friends with them. And I think for the next project, it would be great to do something as well with a young cast and hanging out with them and everything. So yeah, so
Okay.
that's the next thing. You guys?
Well, I don't know. I've actually I've got my own film company called Casafith Productions,
Okay.
and I've got a short film in production right now called Love Royal, and it's based about a love story between a young black man and a young black woman, and how the dynamic of the relationship between black couples has changed over generations. And there's a spoken word aspect component to it, and it's an ode to the city that we're from, which is Scarborough. So
In Toronto.
Yeah, which is a borough in Toronto. So it's full of the lingo. It's full of the, some of the local artists, and some of the local places where young people party. And I think it's going to be a great project for the people of Toronto to receive, and also for the world to have eyes to look into this world that we come from that they might not have had access to, just like how Boost sort of takes you into the world of Park X.
Okay. We'll definitely check that out.
Absolutely.
What about yourself?
Well, I've just been cast in a film called Love Royal, which is going to
Nice plug.
Which is
That's
going to be
good.
directed by Miel, and I'm looking forward to that. I did my first play recently called Superior Donuts, and
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with that. So I'm just getting back into it, but it's a grind. It's a grind, and I'm hopeful that it's going to be a big year. So everything is rolling right now.
And do you think, guys, you're going to come back here to play some more roles in Montreal and Quebec?
Hopefully, God willing. Oh yeah, I love this city.
Love coming to this
I want to
city.
live here.
Where did you went? Did you visit a bit of Montreal, or you didn't have time?
When we were filming,
Yeah. You guys did quite a
well,
bit, eh?
we were talking about this. Maybe 30% of what Montreal has to offer, we got to see. But the timing, like our schedule was different. We were shooting, overnight. We had an overnight schedule,
Yeah.
so we would be sleeping all day. But we got to see a little bit.
Saw a
of the
bit.
city.
They stayed pretty close to Park Extension when they were here. We saw the Atwater Market. We were down in St. Henry a lot, shooting a lot of scenes down there. Was near the production office. I think they went to like the old port. They saw the Phi Center and everything. They went to the VR demonstration there. So I think they did some Montreal stuff. There was enough time on the off days for them to enjoy it. I think Ja saw the Underground City, the Eaton Center.
Yep.
Saw that shit.
Oh yeah. Got my walk on, got my boots.
Okay, great. The film is coming up April 7th. And do you know which cinema is going to be played on?
I believe here in Montreal, it's going to be playing at the Cineplex Forum in English, French at Quartier Latin, and then there's French versions too, I think, that are going to Quebec City, I think like Longueuil, Chateauguay, like there's definitely, it's a French dub of the film, and I know it's playing at a lot more French theaters,
Okay.
and it's going to be playing at the Cineplex Forum on Atwater.
And is it playing in Toronto also?
I think they're going to wait to see how it does here,
Okay.
and then hopefully within the next couple of weeks. It's just April 7th, it worked out. It was a great Friday to open on because there's not much opening. And then I think the week after is Fast and the Furious, which might I feel like people are going to be either Boost or Fast. I don't think you're going to have enough time to see both of those car movies, even though ours is better.
We got a better poster.
Yeah, better poster,
True.
better looking actors, cooler cars. Yeah.
And maybe Vin Diesel's...
He's over the hill, that
Maybe
guy. Look at
Boost
these
too.
guys. This is what they want to go see. This is what the ladies love. The action stars, these guys.
Darren, Nabil, Jahmil, thank you a lot.
Thank you so much.
So much, man.
Alors, je vous rappelle que le film Boost va sortir le 7 avril au cinéma. Et ça met en vedette les acteurs Jahmil French et Nabil Rajo. Et c'est réalisé par Darren Curtis. À ne pas manquer en salle. Bonne soirée à tous.